Remember me? Yeah, you do. You're even fucking uglier than I am now. What do they do to you? Doesn't matter. That's not how it ends for you, brother. You know who's coming for you. You've always known.
Hello Ice and Fire Nerds, and welcome back to another Game of Thrones Season 8 video. And after the scene you just saw back in Season 7 where we saw the Hound approach his brother the Mountain, and he says specifically, you know who's coming for you, you've always known, it's got me thinking a lot more about Clegane Bowl. And the more I think about it, the more I think it's going to happen. Hey guys, it's Chris and welcome back to SmokeScreen. So anyway, let's jump right into it. Is Clegane Bowl actually going to happen? So let me start off by saying I think the Hound has had one of the best story arcs in this whole entire series. He could actually go off right now, right off into the sunset, whether that's death or whether that's just disappearing, and it would be a great ending for him. He's basically fully redeemed in my eyes. He's done a lot of bad shit in the past, but overall he is a good person, and they really went out of the way when he came back to show how good of a heart he has as well, and how he does actually care for other people. But that brings us to Clegane Bowl. Does he still want to kill his damn brother? Well, yes, he certainly does want to kill his brother, but he's not going to go out of his way to do it. So in other words, he's not like Arya, where he has this on his mind all the time, and he's going to go out of his way to go up to King's Landing to do it just to get revenge. He could have done that a long, long time ago. But we did see this scene in Season 7 at the Dragon Pit when he goes up to his brother, and when I first saw this episode, I thought he said to his brother, the Mountain, you know what's coming for you, you've always known. But instead he did say, you know who's coming for you. So that changes things just a little bit. If he would have said, you know what's coming for you, that could have been anything. That could have been just death in general. That could have been something specific to fire, which I'll get into in just a minute. So I think it's a big possibility they're going to actually pay this off. And here's how I think basically it's going to happen. So first off, you have to establish that the Hound is up in the north with Jon and company. And of course the Mountain is in King's Landing, and I don't think he's going to ever leave King's Landing. I don't think Cersei's ever going to leave King's Landing. She's never been spotted anywhere else other than Winterfell in the very first episode of Season 1, and she's been in King's Landing ever since. So I don't see why they would change that now, especially with the Night King on its way. So the Hound could have pulled his blade out and tried to kill the Mountain right there on the spot in the Dragon Pit, but he is a part of this bigger mission. He's a part of something bigger now. That's what the whole thing about the Quiet Owl is in the books. That was the whole thing in the show when he was with Brother Ray and being kind of introduced to religion. Whether you actually believe specifically in a God or not, it's all about serving other people and serving bigger causes, which is why he's got such a great story arc in the first place. So if he's going to actually kill his brother or have the opportunity to, because I think he would do it if he does have the opportunity, how are they going to meet again to have this duel in the first place? So during our Sunday night live streams, we have been saying for the past 6 or 8 months or so that we do think the Hound story arc is going to involve fire, and that will probably have something to do with the Mountain as well. Of course, this whole entire story started with fire, where he got his face pressed into the fire by his brother. That's what gave him his burns. We saw in Season 7 especially that he saw a vision in the flames. But the main thing is they built the Mountain up now to be almost unkillable in a traditional sense. So I don't think the Hound will be able to beat the Mountain in a straight up one-on-one duel, especially since he's Zombie Mountain, because he's a lot stronger than he used to be when he was a regular person, and now he's the Undead Mountain, and I think he's basically unstoppable. At least that's the way they're trying to portray him. Now on the Hound side, they've also been pushing this fire narrative even more, and they did in Season 7 as well. We saw the Undead Polar Bear in Season 7, where the Hound kind of froze up again, very similar to a previous season at Blackwater Bay when he was on the beach fighting and one of Stannis' men ran up to him on fire burning. And of course that's when the Hound decided to say fuck the king and get the hell out of Dodge. But in Season 7 they really hammered on the connection between the Hound and fire, and I think that kind of fits into the Mountain as well. Essentially he is an undead zombie, just like the Whites are essentially. And of course we all know what it takes to kill Whites, and that is fire or dragonglass. So I don't think dragonglass or Valyrian steel has anything to do with it in his case. So how's it going to happen? How are they going to get together? Just like we've been saying in live streams for the past I don't know how long, I don't think that the Night King is going to stop at Winterfell. Of course, if you watch this channel, you know I think this is all going to end at the God's Eye. And I do think they will have to bail out of Winterfell and head back down south. So that's going to give us an opportunity for the Hound to come back south to King's Landing. And of course, he will see his brother. And with all the buildup, I think he's going to fight his brother in some way, shape, or form. And I think he has to kill him with fire. Now, whether the Hound actually survives this confrontation or not, I don't know. Of course, I would love for him to survive this whole damn thing and be sitting there at the end with Tyrion sipping on Imp's delight. But either way I go, I think the foreshadowing and build-up has really been that the Mountain must die by fire. Now, of course, that could be simply dragon fire. It could be Dany coming by on Drogon. It could be Jon Snow, for that matter, if he rides Rhaegal at any given time. Hell, it could be the Night King because he's got a dragon now, undead Viserion. And it would be kind of ironic for an undead dragon with undead dragon fire to kill an undead mountain. And that will be cool as well. But I think the satisfaction and payoff should be the Hound directly. And I think that's his redemption path. And I do think he will meet his brother at King's Landing. And he will fight him with fire in some way. Because they've been building up all this stuff where he keeps running from fire, especially with the Blackwater Bay scene. Then again, as I mentioned in season 7, when he kind of stood there and got frozen once again with the polar bear that killed Beric essentially, it was on fire and he kind of froze up again. So at some point he's going to use fire and not freeze up and actually take action. And I think that's what's going to happen when we do see Clegane Bowl in Game of Thrones Season 8. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Will we see Clegane Bowl 2.0? And will the Mountain be killed by fire? With all the build up with the Hound and fire, he will actually face the fire this time and kill his brother. And I hope he doesn't go out with him. And as usual, thank you for all the support, especially to you guys on Patreon. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.